That's right. Be like Vince, keeps your hair. And, it's funny, back in the old days, he used to tell the commentators to make fun of he used to call it a wig. Say I'm wearing a wig. They don't make fun of his wig anymore. And now, of course, it's not the real color. I don't know what color it is. But it is a gray head of hair, whatever he does have. But
it's it's hair there. And that, he used to, because it was real hair. And because a lot of people may have believed all those wig jokes. His hair was always real. It was just that it was so perfect that the joke was that it couldn't possibly be real. And I don't know if the story is in this program, so I won't go into great detail, but everybody knows that once a week, he used to have a limousine take him from either the office in Stamford or sometimes even his home in Greenwich, where the polo ponies roam free, down to this hotel in New York City to get a haircut from the guy that cut his hair once a week. So how many hairs is he cutting? And the haircut, and this was in the late 90s, cost $100. Plus tip, I assume. So Vince was spending $400 plus tips plus 4 limo rides from Connecticut to New York and back every month 25 years ago on his hair.
He was the fool. He's the one who chose to live in Greenwich. He could have lived anywhere he wanted. Isn't the story that he once said that when he was starting things up, I read this somewhere, I don't remember where, he was going to live in one of two places, Beverly Hills or Greenwich, Connecticut. He just figured those are the places to be the person I want to be, I would need to live.
I don't know that I ever saw that, but I can't shoot it down as false because it sounds like something he'd say. Except I think probably he obviously always wanted to be in New York, but if it wasn't going to happen there, I'm sure that California would have suited his principles.
Could you see Vince living in a city?
Oh, yes. See, that's the thing. One time we're in the limo, right? Going to something, and for whatever reason, it was just me and him on the way to the shoot. Bruce wasn't there. JR wasn't there. And I'm just looking out the window at the traffic. And at least with the limo, it's not so nerve-wracking. You're not the one driving. I didn't have any fucking financial interest in his limousine. So as long as they didn't kill us, I didn't care whether we got hit or dinged or whatever. And at least if you're sitting there in a limo at a red light or blocked traffic, you're not looking at the ass end of a dump truck. It's a little bit more comfortable. So that's the way to go in New York. But I'm just looking at the traffic and the chaos and the noise and the people. And it's my 7th level of hell, as you know, to be in the middle of New York City.
It's gotten
everything.
Worse.
Well, and it's gotten worse. Yeah.
In terms of driving around the city, it's never been worse.
But I'm not even driving, walking, hanging from a light post, whatever the case may be. To be in a major city is my just horror. And I'm looking and I'm going, oh, geez, it takes so long to get anywhere here. And he's like, but pal, the city, it's nothing like it. You'd get used to it. You can eat anytime you want. You can go anywhere you want. There's always something going on. I said, that's the problem. But he likes that. And that's so, yes. And I think in recent years, in addition to the little place out in Greenwich, he's had some kind of penthouse apartment in Manhattan, or somewhere in New York. I don't know the geography. And also he had a place that for a while he was staying in Stamford when he didn't go all the way home to Greenwich, 12 miles away or whatever. So but then at the same time, the years in the late 90s that I was working for him, it was a rib that we talked about. At Christmas, we would get some form of relief, and that was until Raw started going live every week. We'd get a little relief because it was a tradition. He either 10 or 14 days, he would go to his place in Florida. And that was the holiday vacation that he and Linda and I guess Shane would go, or Stephanie would, depending on what their ages were, whatever. And so you'd have a little relief, right? Even though he'd still call, and he was working there and he'd call people on the phone. But this, I never saw it, but it was described to me as a $10 million mansion in Florida that sat out on, I don't know whether it's down in the Fort Lauderdale area or wherever it was, but some ritzy South Miami, whatever. It sat out on one of those peninsulas, so you literally, the windows, you could see through this house, and there was ocean on 3 sides of it. And it's just this glorious place. And I said, well, what he only goes there 2 weeks a year. It's worth $10 million. It's this beautiful. I said, and I one time I said, why don't they rent it out? Well, then it wouldn't be available if he wanted to go. I thought, God damn it. And that's when I realized that this is a whole new level of, if I had enough money to have a $10 million second home, you'd never see my fat white ass again. That's all I got to say.